Hey everyone, I'm Radhika and welcome back to DataZar. Thanks for tuning in today. This week we are solving a challenge around conditional formatting. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's get rolling into this week's challenge. We are now at week 11 challenge, and this time we are building this visual, which is a ribbon chart and a bump chart. Ribbon chart is a default visual that's already present in Power BI. However, the bump chart is the one which we are going to create from scratch. For this week, the data that we need to use is from the semantic model, which is already a sample data provided by Power BI. So I'm going to click this try a sample semantic model and click on load sample data. I'm choosing sheet financials and clicking on transform data. Now the data looks good, like the column headers, they are perfectly fine and the data seems to be loaded all right. So I am going to click on close and apply. Once data is loaded into Power BI desktop, the first thing that we are going to do is create a column because we need to get data by month and year. And in this data set, there is no column which is just depicting month and year, and month is also abbreviated. These dates we need to build them, so it's just abbreviated form of the month and year. And same we need to use it over here for this ribbon chart. For this, I'm going to right click on the table name and click on new column. And this column, I will just name it as month and year abbreviated. We need to get the first three characters from the full month name, and full month name is provided by this month name column. So we will use a left dax function and give this month name as the first parameter, and then we need to choose how many characters do we need. So we need three characters, closing the bracket, and then we need a space. So I am concatenating with the help of and operator, and I will add in space, again an ampersand, and then we need the year, which is in the year column of the financial fact table. If we go back to the data view, we see month and year, and this is the right format. We need to sort this column, so sorting it by date so that we get months from 2013 first and then from 2014, and that too in the right order. So now if I create a table and get this month and year abbreviated column, I see September, October, November of 2013, and then Jan, Feb, March for 2014. Now, starting with the ribbon chart, which is the easiest option, clicking on the ribbon chart visual, stretching it all across the dashboard. So my x-axis is already month and year. For y-axis, we need to choose sales. And for legend, we need to choose country because we need to split these sales by country. And our ribbon chart is already created. Now I will just change these colors so that it matches with what is in the challenge. So I already have hex code for all of these colors. So clicking on the formatting pane, we will go to columns and then click on Canada. And then I will choose hex code for Canada. Next, choosing France, then Germany and Mexico. And lastly, US. So these colors are similar to what are there in the challenge. Now for the next chart, which is a bump chart, we need to have a ranking measure, and there is already a hint given in the challenge. Now coming back to challenge, for this visual, we need to rank the sales for each month and year combination. So we need a ranking function. Going back into Power BI, let's create a rank function. So create a new measure called rank custom, which is equal to rank x financials, because we want to rank the financials table, and the expression that we need to rank it by is sales, but we cannot use the column sales here. So as that is not allowed, we need an expression. So for that, before doing an expression, I will create a measure called sales sum and then use it here. create a new measure called sales total, which will be equal to sum of financial sales. And then going back into my ranks, I will use this sales total measure. Now let's first create a table to see what is happening. And in this table, I will get country and then our rank custom. So currently, if you see, all the countries have same rank. If I bring in month and year abbreviation as well, so everything has rank 1 here because it's not able to get the context that we are trying to do in the visual. To get what we need is, if we sort it by month and year, for month of September, we need to rank these countries as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 depending upon their sales for September 2013. For that, we need to give this context. So there are multiple ways that we can give context, and one of the ways is using all selected tags function. So in my first argument, I will give all selected. The column name that we need to provide to this is the country column from financial table. Now, when we do that, we are bringing this context into this calculation of ranking. So if you see for September, we have Germany as rank 1 and Mexico as rank 5. To validate this, if we look into here, Mexico has the lowest sales and Germany has the highest sales. So now we simply need to convert this into a line chart. So for that, I will click this line chart and our visual is almost ready. I will now quickly match the colors of these countries with the colors that are present over here by replacing the hex codes. So for this, I'm going into lines. And in colors, when all is selected, we can change all of these colors one by one. So for Canada, it's this blue color. For France, it's this green color. Germany, Mexico, and United States. And we will quickly enable the markers as well. We need the marker as this diamond shape, and let's increase its size to, let's say, 0.10. For the y-axis title, we need this as date. So I will do rename for this visual date. And the title for this visual is sales rank by date and country. And x-axis title is country rank. I will increase the size to 14. Similarly for y-axis title, I'll increase the size to 14. Turn off responsiveness so that we can see these changes. Now in the challenge, the ranking is one, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead, it is in the reverse order. When the challenge was given at that time, there is an option in y-axis called invert range. It was not available. So if I was doing that challenge in 21, then my approach would be to multiply this rank by -1 and go into the model view and change the format so that I eliminate the minus sign, but I get the rank in the reverse order. But now that I'm doing this challenge in 2024, I will just simply use invert range option. So turning that on. And if you see our visual cuts at top and bottom axis. So for that, I will just change the range. So I don't want values 0 and 6 to show up. So what I will do is I will just do 0 from 0.3 as minimum so that the visual is compressed. And for maximum values, I will just do 5.5 because we are just showing integers. And now if you see, we have a full axis. I will now apply the same formatting, which is renaming this to date, turning off the y-axis title because we don't need it. And for title, it is sales by date and country. And then lastly, we need to add a text box which says Workout Wednesday Power BI, can you turn a ribbon chart into a bump chart? And I will just format it to 24. make this bold, and at the bottom we have hashtag WOW 2021, hashtag Power BI. I will just keep it at that and reduce the size. And this is how the final visual looks like. I will just increase the size a little bit because I'm getting a scroll bar over here. So this is how it looks at the end. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next one.